So that was a bit silly of me. I actually left my tripod in the car. I had to run back and get it. I thought it was attached to my bag, turned out it was in the boot. It happens. We're continuing our Romanian odyssey. And as I'm photographing this church ruins, I'm going to sort of breach the subject to you. Is now the time, if you haven't already, to purchase a Canon, or, well, mostly a Canon, Tiltshift lens? And the reason I'm bringing up this subject is because I've noticed a huge price crash in 2024. I'm going to get shooting and we can discuss it after. By the way, this place is looking not like I wanted it to be. I'd seen stuff online, I thought there was a tree here, but someone's cut it down, and that makes my composition kind of not what I wanted, not what I came here for, so that makes things quite difficult. I've opted for my 17mm tilt shift, but to be honest with you, it could easily be the 24. So, I've been struggling to get a composition of this back wall. It's not, like I said, what I originally came here for, so I'm kind of settling, I feel. It's kind of frustrating. It's kind of nice colours, but I've seen the composition online before and it's not what I really want. I wanted this way, the tree growing. I thought the tree was new. It looks like it's just been cut. And the tree would have filled the space and really made it quite dramatic shooting into here rather than this way, which I've seen a few times before. There's nice colours this way and some nice details left behind, but not what I wanted. It's a ruin at best, you know. Okay, so I've been over here for a while and I actually eventually stumbled across a technique where I can't get, there's a round bit here and I can't get far enough back because of the wall, and what I would like to do is I'd like to get a composition here, but this straight on shot I've seen before and it's pretty boring, as in the composition I'm not a fan of. And I wanted to have this archway here off centre in frame. So 1 point perspective, but off to the left. So what I decided to do instead is I've decided, cleverly, to basically unlock the lens, rotate it on the barrel slightly and shift it 45 degrees. Just like this, just a little bit of shift. And what that's done is it's pushed this main kind of seating section off to the left in frame and made for a nicer composition overall. Not the best of locations, but it definitely is a nicer composition than just looking straight at it. It gives me something to work with. Vegetation down here, there's also some, some stuff down on the floor. If I'm careful with how I frame that as well, I can actually get that in and make a nice foreground. So I'm just going to reshoot that. And because I've used that lens in that creative manner, it brings me nicely on to Tiltshift lenses, the topic of the day really, because these lenses, as everyone should know if you watch my channel, I've talked about these lenses a lot, and there's a video linked above that is probably the best example of when I've been using them in the field to create panoramics and to create imagery with architecture involved. Now, of course, the key benefits of these things are the sharpness, the resolution you can get out of it, perspective control, you're not going to get warped edges as long as your camera's straight on the tripod and you're lifting the lens, shifting it around, and your camera's straight, you should have nice straight edges. There is, of course, caveats to that. The 24mm is a beautifully sharp lens too, also can take filters, so it can be creative for external shots, for example, of buildings too. These lenses can print beautifully if you focus correctly, get your exposure correct, so on and so forth. They're also incredibly versatile because of the panoramics you can get, because of the fact that you can kind of pull the tripod's position down, get yourself a lower height, use the lens to shift back up. You can kind of do lots of creative things with them in that way. But until this day, I don't think I could really recommend them to everyone because of the price point. Like, as in, they were incredibly expensive, especially the 17mm. Supply and demand, complex moving parts. There's also rare metals in this one, I believe. So I couldn't recommend them to people. I couldn't say, right, go and buy one of these lenses when you're getting into architecture because of the price point. But now that's changed. The 17 and the 24, I'd say the 24 less so than the 17, but the 17 has now crashed in price this year. Like, it's come down loads. I think you can pretty much buy one second hand in Europe now for 1,400 euros, and in pounds it's similar in the UK, and I don't know about dollars, but actually I believe it's a little bit less than that. And that is incredible value for what you're getting out of this as an interior photographer. If you're into commercial real estate or architecture photography, then it's a no-brainer. You probably already have your sights on one, you've already got one, maybe you've got a few. Maybe you need a spare. Well, now's probably the time to do it, because actually, like I said, during COVID, I think in 2020, I looked at the price of one of these because I had damage to mine in 2019. I had to do an insurance claim on it. And the second-hand one of these was about 2.5 to 2.7. It was quite a lot of money. That's a lot of cash for one lens. So I always used to talk about these lenses, of course. I always used to talk about them in Camera Club talks. I've talked about them on this channel loads, of course, and in the flesh on workshops, plenty too. But I always said, borrow one off a friend, go to a rental camera, rental agency if you're in the UK, US, and rent one, try it out first. But now I'd say the risk is much less. Still have to be taking your time, educating yourself on it, and being patient. You'd still have that element with these lenses, the learning process, But outside of that, for the drop, I'd say they're well worth it, because the main thing is, with the adapter, and the fact that they fit on the adapter, these lenses aren't going anywhere. You can use it for foreseeable future. And all right, they might bring out autofocus versions in the future, but that, of course, is going to make them incredibly expensive. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below about, have you used these lenses before? Have you practiced with them before? Have you tried to use them in a particular way before? If you have, let me know. Yeah, I think I'm going to get one more shot looking this way. It's the same shot, but the opposite way round, and there's something I quite like about it, because I think I prefer the frescoes, the drawings, the paintings. Look in this direction. Also, I like the seat's all crushed in like a circular pattern. It's all been collapsed in a circular pattern. I quite enjoy that too. So I'm going to frame up the same thing. I'm going to put my lens back straight. It is good. I am shifting it upwards though to create this shot. And I'm going to pull the trigger. Really nice soft light this evening now. That's all for this week. Nice, quick, easy video. And I'm just going to take a phone shot there. It looks pretty cool. And that's me today. I'll see you all next week, guys. Until next time, bye-bye for now.